Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my review of Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 3. Massive blow. This result is a massive blow to our top four hopes this season. First thing to say is we're not out of the top four. We're still in with a very good position of getting a top four finish this season if we win every single one of our remaining fixtures. Going into this game, and I think when we all looked at the run of fixtures that we had remaining this season compared to the likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, we had a lot of favourable games, with a lot of them being away from home as well. The two that you probably would have had nailed on to win are Crystal Palace at home and Brighton away. The one I probably wouldn't have had us nailed on to win is Watford away. Thankfully we've won that game and it's given us a little bit of breathing space in terms of today, and we've lost today and we're still in with a good chance of getting a top four finish. Had we lost against Watford and lost today, things wouldn't be looking so good, but thankfully we got the win against Watford, and despite today's loss we're still in a good position to get top four. It is a really poor result, and with Leicester away to come, with Burnley away to come, with Wolves in midweek away to come, I can't say I'm entirely confident about us getting top four, but it'd be wrong to say that it's unrealistic, and there's no need to overreact when there's 4 games to go. We've got to keep our heads. We've got to maintain a good understanding of where we currently are. With United losing 4-0 today, with Chelsea looking unconvincing, with Spurs got a semi-final to focus on in the Champions League, their head's going to be all over the place. We're still in with a great opportunity to get a top 4 finish if we win all of our remaining games. I can't stress that enough. Or at least if we get 10 points out of these remaining games, it's vital that we do that. But they're really tough games to come up against, and today was a game that I felt we had to win. But unfortunately, I think we've massively underestimated Crystal Palace. I think Emery got his team selection completely wrong. I think Palace, you've got to give them credit, defended brilliantly, played on the counter really well. Zaha was very good. Wan-Bissaka at right back, he's been phenomenal this season and was brilliant again today. Benteke very effective up front for them as well. Scored his first goal in God knows how long against us, and we just look like a team that didn't have a good understanding, a good chemistry between one another. We look like a group of players that haven't played together. And apart from the front three, let's be brutally honest, that's a very average starting 11. Jenkinson, Elneny, Guendouzi, Mavropanos, Mustafi. Quite average. I hate to say it, but it is quite an average team, and that's exactly what we got in that first half. An under par average performance that you wouldn't expect to see from Arsenal at home. When I saw that team line up, apart from the front three, as I say, I wasn't filled with confidence. I didn't believe that team could go out there and get a result. We saw the effects of Elneny and Guendouzi away from home against Everton, and as solid as I think Elneny is, I think he's a stopgap player, and I think we got exactly what we paid for in him, about £4 million. Just don't think he's at the level to play, and I've said it so many times, I think so many people are of the same opinion, and when you put him alongside someone like Guendouzi, who's only 20 years old, still coming through the ranks, still learning his trade, still amazed he's played as much football as he has done this season, it's asking for trouble. It really is asking for trouble. And then at right wing back we had Carl Jenkinson, who I'm massively surprised he started this game. I think you all know how much I praise Carl Jenkinson. I really like him as a guy, but considering how little football he's played in recent weeks, he was fine when he was playing the odd Europa League game, and there were a few opportunities where he got in the Premier League and he actually played particularly well, but he hasn't played in ages now, and to throw him in to a game of this magnitude, of real intensity, was a complete mistake, and he wasn't up to scratch today, and that was evidenced when he came off at half-time for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who played very well when he came on. And left wing-back Kolasinac, don't think he had his best game today, and the defence was just all over the place. Mustafi, I'll get onto him a bit later, but Mavropanos looked like a fish out of water at times, picks up that yellow card, made one great surging run forward, but apart from that, didn't do particularly well. Koscielny, the heart of the defence, did everything he could, but take away his natural centre-back partners in Socrates and Monreal, you see a completely different defender, and it's just a real shame that we just haven't got the players in depth to perform of a game in a game of this importance. You look at City, the way they rotated, they brought in players like Phil Foden for their game against Spurs. You look at us, we bring in Elneny, Guendouzi, Mavropanos. We've just not got players in depth that are capable of playing in a game in the Premier League. Doesn't matter if you're playing Crystal Palace, if you're playing Fulham, if you're playing Huddersfield. It's an elite game, and it's a game where these players just aren't ready or they aren't good enough. And I think Emery was arrogant today, and I think he got his lineup completely wrong and completely underestimated the qualities that Palace possess, because on paper they've got a very good side, and evidently on the pitch they've got a very good team as well. Look at the players they brought on from the bench as well. They've got the likes of Batshuayi in their ranks, Townsend, players that didn't even start the game today, but they've got and they can bring on from the bench. So it's a quality team that we came up against. We underestimated them, and we should have done a lot better. Conceding early on was problematic, of course. Benteke played on by Carl Jenkinson, who hasn't played in a long time, so Yeah, I mean, that kind of proves why he shouldn't have started today's game. And he just looked leggy throughout the course of this match, Jenkinson. But Benteke got the opening goal to make it 1-0. And we just were ineffective in that first half. We couldn't create anything. We lacked a driving force going forward. And I appreciate that Emery is in a pickle because, okay, we've got no Granit Xhaka today. We've got no Aaron Ramsey. So we have to rotate in the midfield. I probably wouldn't have rested Torreira. I think he hasn't played a lot of football in recent weeks. He should be fresh. And to be honest, in a game like this, we should be going with our strongest 11 from the start. Get the game won by half time, then you can bring off your important players for other key members. Get into half time at 2-0, then rotate. I just think we were thinking too far ahead in this match. We were looking at that Wolves game, which is going to be a lot more difficult to win than today's game was, by the way. And hopefully we can go into that game with Xhaka back, with Socrates back, with Torreira in the starting 11. I doubt with Aaron Ramsey back, but still we should go into that game with a stronger team that's more capable of winning that match. And obviously we haven't been able to give Aubameyang and Lacazette a rest today because they had to play the whole game in search of a goal, so they're going to be knackered come Wednesday. And be interested to see if we go back to a 4-2-3-1 or we continue with this 3-4-2-1. So I'm excited to see how that game goes, and I am still very optimistic about how this season can pan out. But it was great to go out into that second half and score almost instantly. Brilliant work by Lacazette to play Mesut Ozil. Trademark finish to make it 1-1. And the momentum was with us at that point. I really felt we were going to go on to win this game about 2 or 3-1, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Courtesy of a personal error by Shkodran Mustafi, and I can't defend him. I really can't defend him in this instance. It is appalling from a player that is supposedly, I say supposedly in inverted commas, he is supposedly meant to be pretty decent. And it is just really, really, really poor from him. And it's not the first time we've seen it from Mustafi. It happens so many times, and he's so quick to blame somebody else as well. As soon as Zaha goes past him, arms in the air, looking for someone else to blame, but I can't quite work out what he's doing. The ball isn't moving at enough speed for Leno to come out and grab it. He either passes it back to Leno or he passes it out for a throw-in or a corner. But what he's done is he's just tried to hold off Zaha, who is a lot more pacey and quicker and nimble than him, gone round him almost instantly without any kind of effort whatsoever, put it in the back of the net to make it 2-1 at a time where the momentum was with us and Palace were against the Wolves. So I can't forgive Mustafi for that, and I really, really hope we look to replace him in the summer. I just worry that if we get another season of Europa League football, these are the kind of players that we're going to have to be relying on. He's not cut the mustard at Arsenal, and I want to see him gone in the nicest way possible. He's not good enough for this level. And that defence was all over the place today. It was an utter shambles, and Emery has to take responsibility for that. And Mustafi, on the topic of him, is going to play more this season. We've got a semi-final in Europa League over 2 legs against Valencia, his former employers. We've got massive games in the Premier League. We're going to have to rotate, the defence especially. So he's going to see more game time this season. Whether you like it or not, he will play. And I really, really hope that he's able to put today's error out of his mind and play out of his skin until the end of the season. But once the end of the season has been concluded and once that final whistle has blown, I want him out the door. I want him gone as soon as possible because we need to do better. He's just not good enough for this club. But not long after that, making it 3-1 through James MacArthur, poorly defended corner. Heads really dropped at that point, and then Aubameyang with a bit of help from Lacazette, deflection, puts it in the net to make it 3-2. Glimmer of hope, but Palace did everything they could to slow the game down at that point. The referee as well didn't help. He slowed the game down at every opportunity. We lost our heads a little bit as well, got a bit erratic. Mustafi got booked for diving in our own half, which sums up his performance today. But it's 3 points dropped. It's really disheartening on a day where United lost. They got battered. We should have taken advantage of that. Tottenham lost as well. Chelsea have got a tough game against Burnley on Monday. We've put ourselves in a very tricky situation, but it's not all over. It's definitely not all over, and I think that's what we've got to cling on to, the fact that there is still a lot to play for this season. Europa League has become all the more important now. We've got to win those games against Valencia. But until then, I'm going to try and enjoy the rest of the bank holiday weekend. I hope you guys will do the same as well. Try not to think about too much about today's game because it is only football. There's more to life. Not quite sure what, but I promise you there is. As I say, I'll leave it there. Please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And as always, I'll speak to you very, very soon, guys. See you later.